My name is Chloe Williams, and I focused my research on the NOT program. The NOT program was created by the American Lung Association in partnership with West Virginia University and is considered the most effective evidence-based program for tobacco cessation in youth. NOT involves 10 15-minute gender-specific group sessions held in schools or a community setting. The sessions are led by trained facilitators of 10 to 12 teenagers who explore common topics that influence tobacco use, such as motivation, stress management, attitudes on quitting, media influence, and support networks, to name a few. NOT targets adolescents between the ages of 14 and 19 years, who studies have shown are the most vulnerable and without intervention can continue their habit of smoking into adulthood. In fact, a study by Horn and al. Found that every day 4,000 youths begin cigarette smoking. The goals of evidence-based program are to encourage smoking cessation in teens, reduce the number of cigarettes if unable to quit, reinforce a healthy lifestyle, and improve interpersonal skills when coping with stress and decision-making. A sustainable and a cost-effective program, NOT has been recognized by the National Registry of Effective Programs for reducing the smoking rate among adolescents in the United States, specifically in rural communities where teenagers are most vulnerable. Given the unique social factors that influence teenage smoking, this presentation will be addressing the structure of NOT and how the program incorporates unique influences towards tobacco cessation efforts in rural regions, and furthermore, how can this program's reach be extended beyond Appalachian communities. There are various social, behavioral, and environmental factors that impact the effectiveness of NOT. Community culture, parental and peer influence, low socioeconomic status, psychological factors, and poor education collectively play a central role in a teenager's decision to use tobacco and produce significant challenges to implementing tobacco cessation program. Tobacco use is a key player in rural community culture where teens either grow or harvest tobacco or have friends employed in the tobacco industry. Parents and peers are also strong influences on adolescent tobacco use. Teenagers who grow up seeing parents and peers smoke serves as an impediment to youth cessation programs. This environment creates an absence of social support vital to support tobacco cessation among teenagers. Low socioeconomic status, or SES, also plays a role in attributing to significant life stress. The more troublesome daily life is, the more dependent teenagers become on smoking cigarettes to relax. The developers of NOT incorporated the target population's diverse perspectives by developing a voluntary program hosted in a school and group setting and gender-tailored with same-gender facilitators. This design was successful in reaching the targeted rural adolescents by providing a convenient, inclusive, and cost-effective environment for students who wish to quit smoking to participate. By incorporating teen-friendly language and discussing relatable issues, NOT successfully included diverse perspectives in this program. By coordinating groups of no more than a dozen teenagers, the trained facilitators were able to address the various health determinants influencing a teenager's decision to smoke in a more intimate setting. Given that 3 out of every 4 teenagers who smoke have made at least one attempt to quit, designing a program to foster a closer interaction between youth and trained facilitators allowed for a stronger intervention necessary for treating this targeted population. The program reduced the smoking rate among teenagers by coordinating peer group discussion through a gender-based and voluntary program, tailoring its curriculum to appeal to the unique influences that lead males and females to consistently use tobacco, especially since gender has a significant influence on teen smoking. There are several key players that contributed to the establishment of the NOT program. The American Lung Association, the Coalition for a Tobacco-Free West Virginia, the West Virginia Department of Education, the West Virginia Prevention Research Center, and the West Virginia Bureau of Public Health all joined together to create the NOT program. These various groups work together to develop a curriculum specifically to help adolescents quit smoking, known today as the NOT program. By collaborating with diverse experts in this critical issue, the program was able to create a holistic curriculum for tobacco cessation among rural youth. Given the broad influence of the NOT program, there are a wide range of external stakeholders, including tobacco companies and state and federal government agencies. When the NOT program succeeds in helping teenagers quit smoking, tobacco companies lose in profits. Teenagers account for a major customer base among tobacco companies, and the more teens are aware of smoking risks, the more customers tobacco companies lose. State and federal government agencies are also largely affected by the NOT program. As funding providers and proponents of the curriculum, many public health policies are shaped by tobacco use, cancer, and other health issues associated with smoking. Private and public schools are a primary community resource essential to the development and implementation of the NOT program, whose buildings are used for facilitating the program, along with students who either smoke or are directly affected by smoking. Other community resources include the health educators, coordinators, and trainers with the American Lung Association, who provided expertise at both the local and national level in the area of lung health to this critical audience and to audiences examining this study outside of Appalachian communities. The program was funded by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the West Virginia Prevention Research Center from a cooperative agreement, and the Federal Drug Administration, FDA. The NOT program was also funded by state taxes. In an effort to raise additional funds, I would contact private and public schools, the nonprofit and for-profit organizations affected by tobacco use and grants, whose missions are to help improve the health of our youth today. I would also reach out to state representatives whose policies align with the goals of the program. Even if the state representatives cannot provide support in terms of funding, they can certainly shine a light to smoking prevalence among teenagers, especially in their respective district. Depending on how much money is raised, I would also use these funds to purchase media slots in which an educational anti-smoking campaign could extend this program's reach beyond its rural barriers. The evaluation of the program included interviews with 46 program facilitators across the 4 NOT studies on the recruitment methods. Responses provide ethical concerns for consideration. Parental and participant consent were among the top concerns of the program. The evaluation reported that parental consent was a significant challenge when initiating the program. The program used passive rather than active parental consent. As Reed et al. Notes, 60% of the students said they are not interested in the program, mostly out of fear their parent or guardian would learn they were smoking. To suppress inhibition and boost participation, the program developers chose to use passive consent. Passive consent can be seen as unethical by giving parents a limited option, only requiring parents to notify the program facilitators if they do not want their son or daughter to participate. This limited choice is also unethical because parents can give permission only if they are aware of the program. Opponents of the program include parents, school administration, and tobacco companies. Parents who do not allow their child to participate for numerous reasons may oppose the program. Students who are not interested in quitting due to social influence or physical dependence are also among the program's opponents. School administration may also be hesitant to host the NOT program out of concern for disrupting the learning environment and interfere with other school-related activities. Tobacco companies are also affected by the program, as teens account for a large portion of their consumers. The more teens participate in cessation efforts, the more tobacco companies lose in profits. There are also social, economic, and political factors that impacted the design of the NOT program. Family and peer influence, low SES, and the business economy fueled by aggregating tobacco are some of the primary social factors inhibiting cessation efforts in Appalachian communities. One can argue the most influential social factor of tobacco is the economic authority it holds in rural communities and its impact on GDP at large. At a local level, tobacco means jobs for working-class families, and at the national level, tobacco means profits for large companies who spend hundreds of thousands of dollars by ensuring they maintain their customer base. In fact, Tobacco companies have funded epidemiological and biological research designed to support the notion that secondhand smoke is of little to no risk to a person's health. The developers have not conducted thorough research to identify the strong influence of these social factors. The program created an intimate, relatable setting where teenagers could sit down with same-sex facilitators to learn critical life skills, health education, and knowledge on quitting and maintaining cessation long after the program concludes. This was especially important to teens who understand tobacco use as a cultural norm, with parents and friends who smoke daily. Knott's gender-specific program and curriculum work to address the misinformation disseminated from tobacco companies, an effort to ensure teens were getting the facts rather than feeding a company's bottom line. Finally, the program was free for participants, adhering to the low SCS of the participants, and conveniently held during school hours. Funding from research and ALA fronted the cost for the program. If I were attempting to attract the local community to participate in the Knott program, I would focus my efforts where members of the community obtain their news. This would require writing press releases for local media on the program's curriculum and its effect in tobacco cessation, place PSAs in the community paper on the details of the program, and utilize the cost-effective, demographically targeted advertising that social media offers. I would also reach out to hospitals, health clinics, and for-profit and nonprofit organizations that have a stake in the success of public health, and ask them to promote this program through their media channels. By using these outreach methods, I would convey the basic information such as who can participate, where programs are held, and the times and days in which the program will take place. Next, I would answer the question, why should I care? By providing key facts on the effects of smoking for young adults and the serious health risks involved in the state of smoking continue to increase. I would also feature pictures to show what a healthy lung of a non-smoker looks like compared to that of a smoker. It is one thing to tell someone the facts, yet it is another to show them. The main reasons this program was successful was because it reduced the rate of smoking in Appalachian youth, who were most affected, and encouraged the adoption of healthy lifestyle behaviors by identifying social factors that influence teens to use tobacco. Furthermore, even if teens did not quit smoking altogether, the program reduced the number of cigarettes in adolescents of 11 to 18 years. The program is an excellent example of how to achieve a desired change in public health by working with the affected community. By creating partnerships between the coordinators of Knott, rural schools, and community organizations, the Knott program defined their goal to reduce tobacco use among teenagers. Knott was also successful because developers of the program established this curriculum in a voluntary and in a school setting, creating a supportive atmosphere in which teens could easily share their experiences and stress factors on their journey to change their behavior. By fostering group discussion, active participation, and hands-on activities, teens in this program not only learned about healthy lifestyle behaviors, but also applied these skills in a real-world setting. By decreasing the number of cigarettes and in many cases helping teenagers quit smoking, the program achieved its short-term goal from the standpoint of making a quantitative impact in the respective community. The program also created a cost-effective curriculum for a community of any SCS to utilize. Lastly, the program successfully changed the lifestyle behaviors of teens by encouraging them to make healthy choices, not only related to smoking, but their peers, their physical activity, and their mental and emotional health. In the long term, the success of the Knott curriculum proved that similar programs with the help of program facilitators and local groups can be disseminated throughout the nation and even the world to foster cessation efforts not just for smoking, but also alcohol and drug use among teens. By focusing on teens whose self-esteem and morals are still being established, the Not program debunked the myths of smoking and fostered a greater education on this topic so that teens can share their knowledge with future generations. The scalability of the program can be measured through the program's implementation in multiple states, such as Florida, West Virginia, and North Carolina. If the program were to be disseminated in other regions at risk, the community and school partners should be consulted prior to the launch of the program and be more involved in the preparation stage. This would not only create a more unified and holistic program, but it would also provide partners with the opportunity to voice their concerns and suggest implementations. The deployment of strategies by public health professionals is not enough to achieve smoking cessation. By having a balance of those who are influenced by the issue through either social or political factors at the local level, as well as health experts to educate and help change at-risk behaviors, smoking cessation can be achieved and, more importantly, sustained. Lastly, the developers of the program created a convenient method to disseminate the NOT program in other at-risk communities. The cost-efficient program, conveniently marketed as NOT in a box, includes the curriculum, facilitator forms, mini grant forms, and supplies for games and team building to last throughout the 10-session program. This method significantly contributed to the appeal of NOT. The program is also cost-effective, recruiting other communities throughout the U.S. to start intervention who may not possess the resources or time to do so.